Hello there, and thanks for joining us on another fantastic episode of Sports Gist, where we talk about issues and topics revolving around sports. My name is Rachel Roberts, and you know how we do it on this program. We gist, we talk, we banter, and of course we have fun on the program, as the program is called Sports Gist. Well, welcome to this episode, and it's coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Before I introduce my guest to you, I always have my friends and guests in the studio with me. But before I do that, I'll read out to you some of the stories I have with me today. We'll start with the English Premier League, and we should be focusing on the derby and not wasting time with this, says Benfica's players. Benfica will be facing Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League later today. And the manager has said they should be focused and not lose faith, as they hope to defeat the Liverpool side in that game. The question being asked now is a different one. How on earth has a team that have went through all these and couldn't even be the like of Vizela and Gil Vicente come so far in the Champions League? Well, it's the Champions League. Anything and everything could happen. We move on to Manchester City, as they also face Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and Guardiola's side is looking to break that and move into the semi-finals of the Champions League. We'll see how that goes for Manchester City as they face Atletico Madrid. Will Manchester City be able to defeat Atletico Madrid at the Etihad on Tuesday, tonight? And we'll see how it goes. It's the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals. And remember last season that Manchester City found a way into the finals of the Champions League, but Chelsea broke their backs and got the win and took home the trophy. Well, we'll see how it goes for Manchester City, and we're looking forward to those games tonight. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe my guests will be able to predict what the scorelines will be before the game starts later today. Now we move on. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has apologized for his side's performance in their surprise defeat at Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira's side, Crystal Palace, defeated Arsenal in a 3-0 win yesterday, 0-3 win yesterday, where they defeated the team, and it was so much of a shock as Arsenal fans looked forward to clearing up the 2 points that is between them and Chelsea, and they were hoping to make it back into the top 4 with hopes of getting into the Champions League next season. But that was cut short by Crystal Palace side, where they defeated them in a 0-3 win. Congratulations to the Crystal Palace side. Now the Arsenal boss, Mikel Arteta, has apologized to his fans and everybody that the visitors had gone into the game looking to move back into the top 4 and strengthening their hopes of Champions League football. He said it is time to accept our criticism, put your hand up and apologize, because this performance was not good enough for this club. But then react to it, and that's what Mikel Arteta is saying on behalf of Arsenal. He has apologized. They lost Aubameyang, and Arsenal has failed to replace the forward with somebody of matching standard so far. Well, they have quite a number of people who seem to be able to do something, but they're getting the results here. We'll see how it goes for Arsenal later in the season. Like you already know, there are some games that happened yesterday, and there will be some games that will happen on today and tomorrow. The Champions League is back. The Europa Conference League and the Europa League are also back this week, where we'll bring to you some of the fixtures for today and the rest of the week. But we'll do that after this break. Stay with us.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
Welcome back to the program. It's still Sports Gist, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Now, like I said earlier, I have my friends with me. You know, I don't call my guests on this program guests, they are friends, and because it's Sports Gist, you can't gist with strangers, you have to gist with your friends. So they're my friends, at least on this program, and I have with me a world champion, a two-time world champion of Frisbee, and that's in person of Daniel O'Neill. Good afternoon. Good to have you on the program.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. And I also have with me Smith Omotayo. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Rachel.
Good afternoon. So viewers, we're going to be talking about the Frisbee, the flying disc. Let me use the simpler term that is quite easy to understand, and we'll give you a pictorial idea of what the sport is supposed to look like. And before we go into that, I'll give you a very brief history of the sport. The flying disc was developed in 1948 by Walter Morrison on January 23rd, and WAMO brought the rights to the invention and released it later under the trademark name Frisbee. Although playing catch with discs as a pastime and proto-golf games are documented from the early 1900s and doubtlessly occurred from time to time before. Disc sports began to flower in the late 1960s as numbers of young people became alienated from social norms. They looked for alternative recreational activities, including that of throwing a frisbee. What started with a few players in the 60s like Victor Malafronte, and Z. Reynard and Ken Westerfield experimenting with new ways of throwing and catching a disc, later would become known as playing disc freestyle. Well, I'm going to pause there on that history because I know the historian himself is here to give us the details of how the game is like. Now, Daniel, I can tell you for free that many Nigerians are not familiar with this game, I must confess. I'm not exactly, I've seen it before in pictures and maybe very short videos, but I didn't really pay much attention to it until now. Now, can you briefly explain what this sport is about?
Yeah, for sure. So Frisbee or flying disc is actually a group of sports.
A group of sports?
Yeah.
Please underline that.
Yeah, there's more than one sport that you play with a Frisbee.
Okay.
For example, maybe the most famous is Ultimate Frisbee.
Ultimate Frisbee.
It's comparable to football.
Oh.
Two teams trying to advance and score a goal on the other team's side.
Oh, okay, but this time with a disc.
With a disc instead of a ball.
How many players?
7 versus 7.
7 versus 7. And the
Yes.
goalkeeper?
No goalkeeper, more like American football. There's an end zone, and you have to complete a pass in the opposing end zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if the Frisbee drops, it's a turnover, and the other team starts the other direction.
Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. So what are the other parts of the other types?
So then you have
kinds of the game. Yeah.
You have Freestyle Frisbee, as you alluded to, and this is my main sport.
Your strength.
My strength. And
Is
it's
that how
kind
you
of,
got the 2-time championship?
Yeah, 2-time world champion in freestyle. Freestyle is like, it brings elements of dance, martial arts. It's kind of like skateboarding or tricking. You get together, you're trying to make something cool happen, spin it on your finger, tip it in the air, catch it in different ways.
Okay.
So freestyle is really an extension of throw and catch.
Is it basically just you doing your thing?
In competition, you play in a team of 2, kind of like figure skating.
Oh.
And there's judges that evaluate each team.
Each team.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious as to how you win, but let me ask Smith this question. Nigeria as a country, we're not really familiar with this game. And I don't know how you made contact with him, but then how do you think Nigerian youths can get access, or do I say some kind of information or orientation to develop themselves in this sport?
Okay, thank you, Rachel. The reason for the partnership with Daniel and the Nigerian Flying Disc Association in Nigeria is to bring the sports to the average Nigerian youths.
Because, hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
The reason why I'm taking this question is because the popular sports in Nigeria, we can't exactly say they are fully developed. We saw what happened at the National Stadium when Nigeria faced Ghana just last week. And we're in the 21st century, and such a thing is still happening in Africa. So what difference, how do you intend to make this go to the grassroots? Because, for example, football. Football is a very popular game in Nigeria, and there are a lot of grassroots players. And it's saddening that there's so much, do I say corruption? There's so much hindrances not allowing these grassroots players get to the international stage. How do you intend to make this different?
Well, luckily, the president of the association is a youth. and the sport is more youth-based. We're using the sport.
You can't even have old men doing what Daniel did just now.
So we're using the sports to bring the youths together, to unify them.
Okay.
And it covers all aspects of life. Religion doesn't matter. To an extent, age doesn't matter.
To an
ethnicity
extent.
doesn't matter.
Extent?
I think I'll leave that to Daniel.
Well, you know, it requires strength, it requires flexibility and creativity. But at the end of the day, Frisbee is for everyone. Women, young women and girls can play, whether you're fat or skinny, old,
so that means at least there's a sport I can participate in.
Yeah, there is something in Frisbee sports for every person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps the fastest growing sport, the third one we didn't speak of, is called disc golf.
Disc golf.
It uses this basket here.
Okay.
Similar rules to golf, but instead of trying to get a ball into a small hole, you're trying to get a Frisbee to land inside this chain basket in the least number of throws.
That doesn't seem possible.
So imagine it's very far away. There's obstacles like trees, different elevation.
You're going to need a lot of accuracy and calculation.
Huge precision.
Precision, exactly. That's the word. So the disc is supposed to land where?
In the basket.
Oh, I thought it was going to pass through the chains or something. I hope not, because that would have been difficult for the disc to pass through the chains, but that's fine. And now, this is a sport that, like I said, most Nigerians are not yet familiar with. And I know to some people, or did I say some persons, don't approve of certain sports, probably because they feel it's not as sporty as they think it should be. Are you planning any orientations for people to have a clear understanding of what sporting activities? Because when you mention sports to certain people, the only thing that comes to their mind is maybe track events, football, rugby, and maybe Formula One and car racing and all this stuff. How do you intend to sensitize people to get this kind of sports into their minds?
Yeah, I would challenge that notion. I mean, Frisbee sports are growing so fast. The top athletes in disc golf make millions of US dollars.
Wow.
And already the sports are growing very quickly here in Africa. And I believe that Nigeria is well positioned to emerge as a leader in African disc sports.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
We have some programs that we've already done, teaching hundreds of students over the past. I've only, unfortunately, been here for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
But this Saturday as well, we're running programs with Nigerian youth here in Abuja to introduce them to flying disc sports and to hopefully provide a sustainable model for them to continue to grow.
Okay. Now, speaking of young Nigerians, I believe that one of the best ways to sustain a sport or to make the sport as beautiful as possible is to involve children, those who are the minority. And are there any plans to get the sports to get this message to them? Let me allow Smith respond to that.
I think that's one of the places where Melgom comes into play. Melgom Empowerment Foundation is an international think tank, non-governmental organization that works with a lot of youths. We are using our partnership with Daniel and the Flying Disc Association of Nigeria to go into schools, set up clubs, flying disc clubs, and long term, we're looking at participating in the international competitions, because even the flying disc it's a game in the Olympics. So if we can get our youths, the children, to acquire the skills needed and be able to qualify through our partnerships with the World Flying Disc Association, yes, I believe that we can reach the target audience, reach kids, reach the youths, and prepare them to participate in these games in the Olympics.
In the Olympics, I'm hopeful for that. But there's Smith, I'm going to take this question to you because you're the Nigerian on the show. Okay, I'm also a Nigerian, but I'm a presenter. So I'm going to take this question to you. There are tons and tons of corruption allegations when it comes to sports in Nigeria. With the NFF, with the NBBF, with NTTF, name them, almost all the federations in Nigeria. There are tons of allegations of corruption. Do you think corruption would be a major issue in building this disc flying sport in Nigeria?
I would say yes and no.
Okay, why yes?
Yes, in the extent that we can't predict the future. I can only vouch for myself. I can't say I'll vouch for the next person. But I want to believe, based on the partnerships we're forming now and in the future, that will be factored in, and everything we'll be doing will be based on transparency. That is why we have NGOs partnering with NGOs, so that there's a system of checks and balance. What about the
sports ministry?
Yes, we are in talks with them as well. Like I said, there's already a Nigerian Flying Disc Association being managed, the board, by youths and all that. So we are working and partnering on having effective checks and balance in our system and to make sure there is minimal or no corruption at all.
I'm hopeful for that. I really do hope that will be as you have said, because like you said, we don't know the future, we don't know what to expect. Now let's go back to the sport itself. What advantages does it have physically? Like if I begin to practice this sport, what does it do to my body? What does it do to my system as a person?
I think flying disc sports help one to be present. It will help our youth's self-esteem. It will give them hope and something to aspire to. Not everybody can be a football champion on the international stage, but Frisbee sports have allowed me to travel the world, to make money, amazing opportunities, and I see that as a future for Nigeria as well.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Well, I think we need to go on a break now. Do you like football?
I love football.
You love football. Do you, Smith?
I do.
Did you watch Nigeria versus Ghana?
Yes, I did.
Don't tell me you watched it at home.
I watched it at home.
Oh, you were? Look at that.
I was at
work. I would have said that's not fair. That's not fair. So you guys watch league games, other sports. What other sports do you like apart from
basketball? I take huge inspiration from NBA players. They jump high. They're entertainers. They have personality. So I take massive inspiration from the NBA.
And you, Smith?
For me also, basketball, lawn tennis, golf. Sport keeps you young and energetic, so yes.
That's our gang. We are the sports people. Please, Nigerians, wherever you are, engage in some form of sport, whatever you can do. Do not shy away. Don't say, it looks like it's just something small. I remember, I think I read it on this program, in the Olympics, that was last year's Olympics, they introduced about 6 new sporting activities, which included street skating. Street skating was just a thing that people did for fun. And then now people are getting gold medals from it. So, Smith, before we go on the break, that what I said now brought a question to my mind. And that's about African parents and their ideology. A few years ago, if you told an African parent, not a few years ago, many years ago, if you told an African parent that you want to be a footballer, you're unserious automatically. That's not for doubt. And right now, there's a bit of ease when it comes to football from African parents. But many of them are yet to accept a whole lot of other sports. They think you're unserious the moment you pick up a baton and say you want to play tennis, you want to play this, you want to do that. They see you like an unserious person. Is there a way, generally, this is not, I don't want you to speak as a foundation owner or anything. Generally, how do you think we can change this narrative amongst our parents?
So I think to an extent that narrative is on the way of being changed. Because based on the curriculums in schools now, they have a particular day for sports and all that, so that they can channel the talents of the child. And I believe a lot of parents have learned to fuel or fund the child's talent, because you don't know what your child will be at the end of the day or in a few years. If your child could be a gold medalist, I'm sure Daniel's mom didn't expect him to be a 2-time world champion and all that. So there is hope, and we want to believe with the partnership that, like, we would start that orientation and advocacy for sports to be taken seriously, because it helps the mental upbringing of the child, and it also helps them, gives them a healthy distraction while staying healthy.
Yeah, but the thing is, as much as a lot of schools have become more entertaining when it comes to sporting activities, there's still this little factor that when a child gets home, you can't just say, Mom, I'm going to play the football. Mom is just, especially when you're a female child, when you're somebody like me, and you just hear stuff like, oh, you got to cook, there's dishes to do, there's this to wash, there's laundry, there's a whole lot of other things that will be pointed in your direction. So I'm talking about changing the narrative at home. Is it something that will be done generationally? Maybe when our generation becomes parents of some sort, maybe we will change the narrative. Or do you think these are old parents we could still make some changes in their thoughts?
Yes, I believe we can, because I know we still have like the Parents Teachers Association meetings in schools and all that. So these are ways of sensitizing parents to let them know, to help develop the talents of their children, be it in sports, be it in playing of instruments, be it in whatever they love doing. So yes, I think, yes, there's hope in advocacy, in educating parents to letting their children play the sports they desire.
Okay, Daniel, would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I would say that changing the narrative starts with seeing great role models, and that starts with us being here. And I want to see Black youth stars, and when we start to get those first stars, the parents and their children will look to them and say, wow, that could be me, that could be my son.
Yeah.
And by the way, the values that sports will instill in your child, it will make them competitive, driven, and regardless of whether they go on to be a professional athlete, those skills will drive their fortune financially, their opportunities in their life. So parents really need to consider the benefits that putting their kids in sports will provide.
I think as the media also, we have a job to do to promote it and push it. Let them always see the good side. But we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, I'll engage my guest in football. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. Still Sports Gist coming to you from KAFTAN Television. Now you can call us on the program to make your contributions and maybe to ask questions about the sports we're talking about today. Call us on the number going on your screen, and I will be glad to hear from you. I'm sure my guest will be glad to hear from you as well. But I promised earlier on that I was going to give you a breakdown of the fixtures for today. And in yesterday's game, we had a Premier League, Crystal Palace 3-0. I can remember I said that earlier on. In the Spanish La Liga, Real Sociedad against Espanyol ended in a 1-0 win for Real Sociedad. And Hellas Verona faced Genoa in a 1-0 win for the Hellas Verona side. And of course, the Champions League is back. Yes, it is back. Benfica will face Liverpool, and Manchester City will face Atletico Madrid, open for a place in the semi-finals. This is the first leg of the quarter-finals of the Champions League. I'll ask my guests to predict the game later in the program. But before we go back to the Champions League, I still have Daniel and Smith with me in the studio. And before we leave the Frisbee conversation, are there any ways to improve this sport overall? Like, do you think in the nearest future there would be any form of, they're calling already, there will be any form of addition to that? But before you respond, let's take a call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from.
Please, to commend you for the program that's on.
Okay, your name.
Mr. Gambo Ibrahim from Zaria.
From Zaria, wow. Okay, go ahead with your contributions.
We're really enjoying your program, especially the highlights.
Thank you.
My man, you fan, we're happy for Arsenal lose yesterday.
That's not fair. That is so not fair.
No, it's fair. At least it's fair. They have been
Really?
for our results, so we're happy yesterday.
Thank you for calling. What a sad weekend it was. Thank you so much. So back to my question. How do you think in the nearest future there will be maybe broader sense in this game? You know, you mentioned earlier that there are 3 types. Maybe subsequently other forms will be developed in the sport.
Yeah, I think right now Africa is about to undergo a major growth spurt in Frisbee sport. So for example, disc golf, there's a course being built at professional level, actually 2 in Uganda, 1 in Ghana, 1 coming here in Nigeria in the next 12 months.
Oh, wow. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's likely that Ultimate Frisbee will be included in the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. In general, the World Flying Disc Federation, which is the governing body of all these sports, is doing fantastic work to grow disc sports on the global stage. So I'm just excited for Nigeria to get a head start and be future champions. Well,
Nigerians are lovers of sport, and I'm sure they're glad to hear this. But very quickly, how can I be? Let's say I don't do this sport before. How long would it take for me to become a professional?
Yeah,
or an expert?
You have to put in your genius hours. I always was told, you need 10,000 hours of training to become a true genius in something.
Okay.
I've been playing this sport for 12 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
But I became world champion in just 3 years from the moment I learned about it. So it's about dedication. It's about putting in the hard work. So really, it's how fast can you put in your genius hours?
So there isn't exactly any time frame. Like Rachel could practice for 20 years and get it right. Smith might take maybe 3 months.
Buy a Frisbee online, and grab your friend.
Are these
get outside.
Available in Nigeria? I
think that you can definitely get these. I would recommend. On Instagram, you can follow Frisbee Naija, Naija.
Oh, there's an official handle.
Yeah, or WFDF, which is World Flying Disc Federation, WFDF. So that would be a great place to start to connect with the bodies in Nigeria that are promoting the sport. And and then just start to follow these programs. They're coming to you.
Okay, I have one more question. Since you're the 2-time world champion on the program, how is the money going to be made? Because I'm sure many Nigerians want to know how they will make money from it as a sport. I understand how sports work, but I needed to break it down for them.
When we left on the break, you showed a video of me at the World Urban Games.
Yes.
It was a multi-sport event that's overseen by the same body as the Olympics. And when I competed there, and there was one team representing each and every country.
It's even showing on the screen now.
Yeah. They flew us there. Our flights were paid for. Our hotels were paid for. Our food was paid for.
Everything.
We won the gold medal. Me and my teammate each won $3,000 from that event.
That's a lot of money.
It was a pretty good haul. And as I mentioned, in disc golf, the figures are in the millions of dollars that people earn. Those come from tournament winnings, getting sponsorships, and just agreement deals with disc manufacturers, clothing companies. I think a modern athlete needs to also be a marketer and needs to utilize social media. And
you just have to be there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, and we hope that, I hope you can hear that you can actually make money from this sport, because I know most Nigerians are all for the money thing. Now I'll go to Smith now. Before we move on to football, this is a sport that is starting to grow in Nigeria, and I believe with Daniel and with you that it will become something to hold on to eventually. For people who don't know exactly how to go about it, which way to go, how to maybe how to access it, because now we're in Abuja. And we know, Smith, Daniel might not know, but you know that life outside Abuja is different. And a lot of people in the grassroots and the suburbs may not even have access to these. And it will shock you to know that you might even get to the corner of some villages in Nigeria and you find just one little boy who's maybe 12 years old who has been practicing something like this. Maybe he saw it somewhere and he's just hoping that maybe someday someone somewhere will find him. Someone somewhere would realize that there's a little boy with this talent. How do you think, as a nation and as sports lovers and analysts, builders and athletes and everything, how do you think we can take such message to people in the grassroots? Before you respond to that, let's take another call. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost the call. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that is why we are partnering with Daniel and the Nigerian Flying Disc Association. We look forward to going into the grassroots and looking for these talents, grooming them, training them. We're also hoping to forge more partnerships with NGOs, CSOs that work with the grassroots. Melbourne Foundation has a huge network of youths across Nigeria, which we hope to tap into. We are looking at going into schools, both private and public schools, and start these clubs and start training and breeding new world champions. So we look forward to going out there. We look forward to having a flying disc road show, plus competitions and tournaments across Nigeria. Like Daniel said, there's an upcoming Olympics coming. We look forward to signing a Nigerian team.
That would be interesting. It would be great to see the Nigerian flag flying for the Frisbees. Now, there's this thing about certain people, or do I say some Nigerians, who believe that some sports are limited to some certain kind of people, and most of these beliefs come from the place of tribalism, ethnicity, religion, and a whole lot of other factors that people consider before joining such competitions. Now in the north, people tend to put on their hijabs and everything, are there provisions to see to it that these people's beliefs are not tampered upon? Before we respond to that, let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, are you there? Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
We lost them.
Okay, we lost the call. Okay, back to the question. The place of religion, ethnicity. Because I'm asking this because there's this, do I say style in Nigeria where when we want to send people to represent the country, in some cases they don't select them based on merit. They select them based on, oh, it's Igbo, it's Hausa, it's Yoruba. We need at least 3 of the major ethnic groups represented. Whereas maybe 2 of the major ethnic groups have better people who merit that representation more than the other people. Are there plans to create a balance in that regard?
Yes, definitely. There are plans for that. And I'm glad you raised the question, because the flying disc sports is not limited with to anybody, be it ethnicity, be it religion. We are also hoping to take the flying disc sports to persons with disability.
Wow, disability inclusion, very important.
So religion doesn't matter. It will be purely based on merit. the hours, the genius hours, like Daniel said, you put into it, your creativity, your talent will determine who goes. And it's not by religion or by ethnicity. That doesn't matter. Okay. We are hoping
no
to
gender.
No gender.
Yes, because the video that was played, it was you against a female.
Me teaming up with a female. Yeah, we played together as a mixed pair. Oh. And some of the most talented athletes I've met here in Nigeria have been young women. And I think that there's just a huge untapped opportunity for women to take center stage in sports in Nigeria.
Okay. I'll hold on to that because I'm a woman, and I believe hopefully as time goes on, as time passes, we'll get better. More women will be included. Women inclusion, disability inclusions, those two things are very, very important in any business. Like they say, train a woman, train a nation. Well, we're going to football now, and I just want you guys to predict. Don't worry, I won't put you on the spot. I won't put you on the spot. I just want you to predict Benfica against Liverpool and then Manchester City against Atletico Madrid. Benfica against Liverpool.
I'll take Liverpool and Man City.
Ah, okay.
I would agree with Daniel, but
people are going for teams.
Yeah, but the other dogs might surprise you.
I mean, look at Ajax. Ajax did fantastic in the group stage, and then just
exactly.
So anything could happen. It could go either ways. Anybody could win. Anybody. Okay, we'll see how it goes. The Champions League is back, and you can go with Daniel and Smith's prediction. Or should I drop mine? No, I don't want to do that. Benfica, Liverpool. They went for Liverpool and then Manchester City. But Smith said this underdog in quotes, might actually do something fantastic. It's Atletico Madrid. They're not that small, and Benfica isn't small either. For you to make it into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, it's not beans. Let me say it like Nigerians, no be beans. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. But that's how much we can take on the program today. Thank you so much, Daniel and Smith, for joining in, and thank you for introducing this beautiful sports to the viewers at home. Thank you, viewers, for joining in. To those that called, thank you for joining. Yeah, before we go, he was going to do something. Yeah, we got to do that before we go. Very quickly. Okay.
All right, cool. So just in my one chair, I'll just show you guys a couple quick moves. That's called tipping. That's a nail delay to spin it on your finger. A chest roll.
Voilà.
And Rachel, I think even you can play.
Okay, let's see.
Throw it back.
Okay, back?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the program today. That's how far we can go. Thank you so much, Daniel and Smith, for joining. Thank you, viewers at home. Thank you to those who called. Hope you join us again, same time, same station. My name is Rachel Roberts. We'll see you guys again next time. Bye for now.